doing, people? Welcome back once again to Anti-Corruption Scotland TV. I've got Robert Sproul here today with us, and we're going to be speaking about democracy and in the voting system. Robert, democracy, do we have it, or is it an illusion?
There is no democracy, it's just an illusion created by the legal system, legal society, with paid liars. People think when they register to vote and they vote that they have rights. They have no rights, they have privileges, and this is what people have to comprehend and understand. It's a fraud. Every legal document in the legal system, legal society, relates to the person. Richie, when you get into a school, for example, and put the cross or the tick in the box, people think that's great, but when that box leaves to get processed and counted, they become a person, they become a fiction, a corporation. They don't know that. They'll lose their rights. As soon as that box leaves there, they'll lose their rights. They've given their consent to lose their rights and get privileges.
So you lose your status as a living man or a living woman?
Your status is diminished from a man or woman to a person, a fiction, an entity, a corporation. It's the same, it's all established for the start of the creation of the birth certificate. As I've said time and time again in the videos, you have an entity ID. Scotland's People website verify that. When you pay for a certificate, you'll get a receipt and it tells you have an entity ID and it's the all capital name. And that's why in the legal system, legal society, when you register for a passport, driving licence or anything else, it's got to be in black ink, the all capital name, because that's the only way they can deal with a man or woman. If you fill in paperwork in blue ink, they'll send it back and says they can't accept it. And the lame excuse is that the scanners or the printers don't pick it up because it's blue. It's all lies. They're all paid liars.
It needs to be in black because it needs to be a sign of the dead, effectively, in all block capital letters. Passports, driver's licence, even insurance policies and things like that for cars, everything. It's all within the legal system.
That's right. The other thing as well, Richie, is the registration officer that does the registration for the voting. They're a private corporation. The government's a corporation. Parliament's a corporation. The politicians are a corporation. And that's why they get away with what they do.
So these people aren't working for the people, Robert. These people are working for themselves in a private corporation, and they're just effectively stealing money, which we know. So there is no democracy there. There's nobody who's actually working on behalf of the people. They'll tell you that, but they're not working on behalf of the people, are they?
Oh, they're not working, they're just corporations, working for the corporations. And people think like people like Nicola Sturgeon, Liz Truss, Boris Johnson, John Sweeney, Patrick Harvey, humans are useless because that's what he is, have power and authority over the people. They don't. It's the corporations and the people above, the bankers, that control them. They're just puppets following orders. It's like the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization and NATO and Europe. They're all they're all corporations. In Europe, they're all unelected puppets. And people think that these people have the power over them. They don't, because the people are sovereign and these people are not. And not even the governments are sovereign.
So the private corporations themselves, the likes of Nicola Sturgeon, don't want to keep beating her with a stick because we always talk about her, but she is our Prime Minister and our first Minister in Scotland. She'll come out, or her and her party will come out with a manifesto. They'll ask us to vote for her, whereas the conditions that are in this manifesto, but we don't actually see some of these promises in this manifesto. So where is the democracy there? If she's saying that she's going to give the people this, that and the next thing, and she doesn't do it, where's the democracy there? We've been lied and cheated to.
There is no democracy, right? A manifesto is a promise to do something. It has no lawful binding agreement. You can tell that right now when they've done the manifesto to get into power. Look what they've done without putting in a manifesto. COVID lockdown, wear masks 2 meters apart, COVID vaccinations where people have been injured and died. Where does she get the right to do that? Because people are under the illusion that this woman and every man or woman, the other 128 Muppets in the Scottish Parliament building, have power over a man or woman. We're all equal. No man or woman has power over another. I can't tell yourself stand 2 metres apart. Who am I to tell yourself? I can't tell you to wear a mask because your body's your property. And this is the thing, people don't realise how powerful people are because they've been indoctrinated with liars all their life, generations after generations, decade after decade, and they think that's the new norm. That's not a new norm.
That's right.
People can make change, and how we get remedy, don't register to vote. Don't vote, and we need to get people to create a sovereign government of people that represent the people and get the services back. The services have all been stolen. They've all been incorporated with people like Nicola Sturgeon and everybody else, all the ones in England and Wales and Ireland. If the people create a sovereign government, and it can be done, all you have to do is do not register to vote and do not vote because it needs your consent. We are governed by consent, police by consent, but because they're corporations, there's 2 jurisdictions, they're legal and they're lawful, and they keep everybody in the legal as soon as they fill in legal paperwork. Questionnaires and stuff, you don't fill it in, you throw it in the bin.
I know it's America, but Obama, when he was president, he made a speech, and anybody can look this speech up on the internet, and he's actually said that the people have basically not got the brains to govern themselves, so therefore we need to govern them. That's the legal system stealing the sovereignty for every living man and woman.
That's right, that's definitely. And the argument they use is, if you're not happy with us in the next 4 or 5 years, vote for somebody else. But what people don't realise is
vote again.
Labour, Tories, Lib Dems, Green Party, and every other party are corporations. Labour, they're all registered in Dun and Bradstreet in the House of Commons, the House of Lords. SNP, the House of Commons, the House of Lords, the Scottish Parliament, Scottish Government, they're all corporations. The Conservative Party is all the same. And when people think that, all right, the Tories, as they call them, the Tories are Conservatives, are not doing it, and as you see the mess up recently, they think, oh, Stammer has got the answers. Well, if you think back in the history when Labour were in power, who started the debt problem? Labour did, because, what do you call him, Brown, sold all the gold. They went into wars the same as the Tories did. It's all about money, corporate greed, and people have to make the change because only people can make the change.
This is the thing, in war, people always say, oh, you're on the left or you're on the right or whatever, right? Left wing, right wing. Let's have a look at us. The left wing and the right wing is connected to the same bird. Do you know what I mean? So it's the same people at the top that are using the politicians as puppets, and they're just pulling them strings. And when it comes to war, what we're seeing is just an illusion. They'll make up lies about a country, such as Iraq, when they had the war there, and it says there was weapons of mass destruction and all the rest of it there, and there wasn't. There was none found. Tony Blair just started a war because he was getting guided by somebody above him to create that war. Now, these people above him, my understanding is that they supply both sides of the weaponry for both sides of that war. So therefore, they're the ones that are making the money all the time. Once again, the people above the politicians are making the money, the bankers.
Exactly, and sending bombs and weapons to a foreign country and attacking it is big business, and that's what it's about. It's not about the people's sovereignty. What people don't realise, like Ukraine, they're saying there's a war over there, but we don't hear too much about it, right? These people, do you think that they're going to send all these missiles and stuff over there for free? They're going to claim their equity. It's about stealing the equity for the people. And the guy who's leading the Ukraine's party there, he's one of the puppets, and he's deceiving the people, right? Now, we shouldn't be involved in other people's wars, right? We shouldn't be getting involved in that. And it's diabolical that people, like you see, I've seen a post the other day on my profile, Putin's a war criminal. What about Labour, Tories, and everybody else that went in and started wars based on lies? And everything's based on lies, and the people don't see this. Because the politicians and the governments have bought the media. They own the media, they own all that. That's why the people are being indoctrinated, because they're listening to liars.
It's a propaganda machine.
That's right.
See, when COVID started, or when there's a war on or something like that, see if you had to put the stations on one big screen and try and get the volume all timed together, they're basically saying the exact same thing. They're just reading off a script. One script for that war is written, and it's passed down to the whole propaganda machine, your BBC, ITV, I mean, let's face it, in Scotland, STV and all that, they're all part of this.
Exactly.
The radio, they're all part of this. They're just pumping information out there, which is lies, it's propaganda. So where's the democracy there? Where is the truth in everything? It's just being hidden.
There is no truth. The other thing as well, if you think back about the Twin Towers, a reporter was standing not too far away, and she said that the building had collapsed and it didn't have already. It was still standing when she says that, and then it collapsed.
I'm sure that was a Sky reporter or a BBC
That's right,
reporter.
aye.
It was a UK reporter,
Right.
and she was there.
I believe that was done deliberately.
I think more and more information's coming out about that. I mean, normally what people say when you start talking about stuff like this is, there he goes with a tinfoil hat, blah, blah, blah. Do you know, but there's more and more information coming out. Again, the propaganda machine hid the truth. What we've got now is we've got a powerful internet system. And I think this is what's wakening people to the COVID-19 situation and all the vaccine damage and all the rest of it. They're trying so hard to cover up things on the internet, but we've now got the internet, and that's why people are learning so much, because we're all connected. We're interconnected through all these countries now with one thing, and that's the internet, and it's a very, very powerful tool for telling the truth.
It's
and
like
that's coming out.
It's like when your politicians are shouting. Well, there's for instance, they had a cabinet meeting with this new cabinet the other day, and they've got to find 35 billion black hole to fill. Where are they going to find that? They're going to find it for the people. The people think that they owe a debt. Or how do we pay for our services? Well, how can your country or your lands, Scotland, England, Ireland, Wales, be in debt when everybody pays into the system? Where did that money go? They're stealing the money, they're stealing the equity, and they're shipping it abroad so it can't be traced. Same as the council tax, that's another scam. No services. Why? Can't you get medical treatment? Can't you get dental treatment? And it's terrible. People are dying every day. And people outside walking about the town, like I heard the town was jumping yesterday. I wasn't there, but I heard it was jumping, getting into deer shops, buying this and that. It's obviously not hit them yet, what's coming. People think life is sweet. It's not going to be sweet. It's like all the energy bills, right? People think, the government, the fiction entity known as government, has paid the corporations, the energy companies to keep it maximum £2,500, right? But what people don't realise is these corporations known as government have no money. They're bankrupt, right? That's why the people's purse is paying for everything. And the sooner we get rid of these politicians, all politicians, not just the SNP, the whole shebang, and get a sovereign government of the people, and it can be done. We can get our services back, we can get our equity back, and the ones that incorporated the services without full disclosure, which is embezzlement, right? They've stole. That's theft. Embezzlement can be prosecuted. All we have to do is find out who the names was that incorporated it and when it was incorporated. Because you've got shareholders, board directors, and other things, consortiums that's running the show, right? They're all making money out of it. Their board members and all the bonuses, like the Susan Aiken, she's on some bonuses as well, her the head of the council. They're talking about they can't pay wages, but yet they can buy assets like pictures and sell that to pay the wages. So where's all the money going? Where's all the national insurance going for the NHS, the fiction known as NHS, and where's all the capital for the people? We've got the likes of Nicola Sturgeon, right? She's registered as a private corporation in Dun & Bradstreet. And we've discussed this before, and we speak about it in the streets as well. And the reason she's registered in Companies House and Dun & Bradstreet as a private corporation is so she can pass the buck to the person or the corporation, rather than the 11 women taking the blame for all her lies and all her thieving that she's doing. Because it's a fact, she's thieving the people's money. Exactly. She's thieving it. Do you know what I mean? How do we go about removing these people? How do we go about explaining to people and showing people just how much power they have? I mean, you've done it in the street, Robert, where you've told the police that you're going to have a walk and you want people here. You're making a claim to the lands of Scotland. Are you saying that it's your land, Police Scotland's land? And we've seen it. The police have had to come up, 4 van loads and marches up the streets. That's just one man. That's one man standing in his sovereignty. We need people who understand what we do
And we need them to know how much power they've got so they can stand in their own sovereignty. Just imagine, see if we had hundreds of thousands of people here doing that. I don't think it would be a Nicola Sturgeon as a private corporation. I think she'll be done. She'll be finished. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think that's a way of removing them?
You've got I've said in the past, I'm considering starting a lawful party to remove consent.
Yep.
And I obviously would need the numbers for anti-corruption task force to be growing, and anti-corruption Scotland, people for the people, we are change.
Yep.
Anti-corruption Scotland, people for the people, we are change, because we fight for the people. And my credentials for the last 11 and a half years for what I've been doing, we have started with no support to the support that we've got limited just now, and hopefully the numbers will grow. We can make a difference. And people, when I put up the last time, somebody sent me a message, said it's good you're going to stand for a councillor. I don't want to stand for a councillor. I want to stand and remove the whole 129 of them for the Scottish Parliament building and take back control for the people.
Yep.
And you'll see change within a week.
Bearing in mind out there's people who are experts in construction,
That's right.
importing, exporting. All these people, all they need to do is just stop voting for
That's right.
the illusion of democracy and stand in their own sovereignty. They can still be experts in that, but do it for the people, where we've no got somebody above the politicians stealing the money and stealing the equity.
We the people, Richie, have to take back control because it's important. Because they're talking about, so I can't remember the politician the other day saying that the children and the grandchildren, we can't leave them with a debt.
Yep.
There is no possible way they're going to clear that.
Yep.
Right? There is no possible way, and whatever figure they fire out there, you'll probably see it's double or treble. It can never be cleared. Right? But when we get any power, we the people, the sovereign people, the ones that created the debt, as I keep saying, he who creates owns. They're the ones that's accountable. We can wipe that debt because we are fresh.
Yep.
That can be wiped, and it has to be passed on to the ones that created the debt, because they're the ones that created it. Whoever put the signature, they can't say government. Some man or woman had to sign a document to get debt. Like Liz Truss, Sunak, Boris Johnson are three prime examples. They're all registered and done in Bradstreet. And so is the rest of them, because I've got the list of them at home. And people need, or require to pay attention to what Anti-Corruption Scotland and what we're talking about, because we're getting the facts, we're getting the truth.
A lot of people just don't want to spend the time to go and look and find the truth, because they're just busy getting on with their life. But that's another illusion that the government and the propaganda machine has put out there. You've got to work, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. They've put an illusion out there that this is how life has got to be, when really life should be spent with your family. Everybody needs to work, we know that. We need to build stuff, we need to manufacture stuff. We know we need to work, but we don't need to be working 40 hours a week for the government to steal our money. We shouldn't be driving down the street with roads that are covered in potholes. You know, it's terrible. Where is all the resources going? Because there's loads of resources out there. We know that, for the oil and gas industry as well. Scotland has a chance of winning this.
Scotland's got the main chance.
I think Scotland's got a great chance. There's a lot of very clever people who are ready, the sovereign men and women who are ready to stand up and make a difference. We just need the rest of the people to stand up and understand that they have the power and start using that power instead of believing this illusion of democracy that you're getting for your government.
Well, the thing of the matter as well, think about Patrick Harvey recently, spending millions upon millions of pounds on cycle lanes. It's taking half the road up.
That's right.
Now, if you look at these cycle lanes, you'll be lucky sometimes if you see one man or woman cycling in that lane. The biggest majority of people are cycling on the pavement. So it's a waste of money.
Yep.
All the millions of pounds, we've got people homeless, food banks, they can't feed their sons and daughters properly, and they're struggling. All the millions of pounds is being wasted. These people like Patrick Harvey, Nicola Sturgeon, John Sweeney, and the rest of them should be held to account. But because they use fictitious offices, I've done a video recently of fictitious offices and fictitious corporate names to escape liability. When people realise what I'm speaking about and they get the comprehend and understanding of what I'm speaking about, they're in for a rude awakening. Because when people start backlashing them back in their private capacities, the man known by the name of John Sweeney in private capacity under full personal liability and a statement of claim, These people in the so-called entity Scottish Government, Westminster Government, they don't have the power they're claiming. It's the illusion of power, the deception. This system has been set up so well, people don't realise what's actually going on. We're in an invisible prison right now, and you can't see the bars. And I keep saying that.
Yep.
Right?
I
If we weren't
understand
in an invisible prison, why have they got so much control? With this digital currency coming as well, that's another serious thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Then you've got the pandemic treaty, where it gets to the point if they get this passed, they can kick your door in and forcibly vaccinate you. People need to waken up. This is serious stuff. These people don't have the authority. They don't have the power or the ability to do that. If people sit back, they need to stop it.
It needs to be stopped now before it's too late. It really does.
As I would say, to finish off, Richie, we the people have to create a sovereign government.
Yep.
We have to remove our politicians. It can be done.
Yep.
That's a remedy.
I believe so.
Removal. That's it. If everybody was not to vote, they couldn't get power. They couldn't form a government.
You need to close the parliament.
Exactly.
'Cause they don't
And that's when the people could step up to the mark. We could take back all the services. We can take back the courts, get grand juries
Yep.
to deal with the courts in the proper way. We don't need a legal system. The legal system's not for the people, it's for the persons and corporations. We need a lawful system where we can get men and women's rights back, protect our sons and daughters, get the corporations shut down and take our services and everything back, all our equity. Scotland would thrive, and that's a fact. But people have to step up to the mark. A lot of people are scared. A lot of people don't understand understanding or failing to understand is scared because they don't know what's ahead of them. But I know what's ahead. Let's get the people woke up, give them the true information, the true facts, and let's get this sorted because it can be sorted.
Yep. I think we should do that. Thanks very much, people, for listening to us, giving us the time to be spoken. Robert, how would you want to finish off?
Please, people, share this video far and wide. Listen to everything Anti-Corruption Scotland tell you. We in Anti-Corruption Scotland cover a lot of topics that people are not even talking about. We've got a very crucial topic coming up shortly, and it's the 5G, and we've got somebody with very good knowledge and has researched this stuff and can verify everything under a charge of perjury, the same as myself, because when I spoke to the woman, I asked her that, if I asked her that in the video, could she do that? And she said she would do that, not a problem. And this woman's also stopped a 5G pole from being put outside her house, and she stopped cables from putting in. As I say, people, we're giving you the right information, the right facts, and I'm verifying everything. Richie's doing the same in private capacity under full liability, even under a charge of perjury. We're not here to mislead the people. We're not here to give misinformation. We're here to give you the facts, try to educate you and waken you up so change can happen. Not just for our sons and daughters, for everybody, every man and woman, grandmother and grandfather, right? Because there's been a lot of hurt in the last 3 years in the lands of Scotland, and it needs to stop now, right now. Again, please share this video far and wide, people. Thank you for watching it, giving us time to be heard.
Thanks, Robert. Thank you very much, folks.